Hey, it's Bauke again, and as promised in this video I'm going to talk about my life, what the business that I created to make some income online has done for me in my life, what my life looked like before I started it, what my life looks like now, and basically the whole journey I had to go through. So I hope that telling this story will inspire you to make your own choices in life, to think about what you want to do with your business, if you want to start a business, why you want to start a business, because it's very important. One of the main things to me is you have to have the right motivation. You have to have a drive, something that is your big why. Why are you doing this? So I hope that I can motivate you with my own story. So it all began, I think it's about 3 years ago now, maybe a little more than that, when I stopped going to university. I was not a student anymore. I started working full-time at my job, and after I did that for a while, I realized life's kind of expensive when you're no longer a student. You don't have like the cheap student housing and basically like the cheap lifestyle of a student anymore. And even when you're working a full-time job, making a full-time income, it didn't really satisfy me. The full-time income was not so bad for what I was doing and where I was at the time, but it felt like it wasn't really enough. So I decided, let's look into seeing if I can make some side income, some additional income from whatever I could find online. So I started out with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was getting kind of big at the time. I think this was 2012, 2013, around that time. Bitcoin was still kind of niche, like in the technology crowd basically, but it had started to gain some popularity and it had quite a volatile history of ups and downs. So I decided, let's look into this, see if there is anything I can do in the Bitcoin market to make some money on the side. And so that's what I did. I started speculating, buying some Bitcoin, trading them, buying Bitcoin stocks in different companies and stuff like that. And that worked out well for a little while, but then the Bitcoin kind of stagnated and no longer had like huge ups and downs, so it wasn't really profitable to trade it anymore. I didn't really make much money from my initial investment, so I started to do like way more high risk stuff, which was really stupid. And then basically I had like a huge bust. So I was trading on his website and the website got shut down for all US customers because it was against some kind of US law. I was not a US customer, so all other customers basically got completely screwed by that happening, because all the US customers had to pull their money out, which made the value of everything on there drop to like 10% of what it was before. So basically overnight I lost all the money I invested there. Luckily for me though, that was also the time that the Bitcoin suddenly shot up in value like 10x. So I got out with basically a break even though I should have, if that didn't happen or I got out before that had happened, I would have 10x'd my money basically. So yeah, that was my first big venture slash failure, maybe you can call it a failure, but I did really learn a lot from it. And I was not demotivated at all. I was looking for something else. I saw some value in trying to do this, so I decided, now that I've tried this with Bitcoin, why not try it in the real stock market and go and trade stocks. So that was my next thing. I went in, looked into stock trading, found some courses online that were very good. Some were on penny stocks, some were on trading high volume Nasdaq stuff. Anyway, I won't bother you with any more details than that. Basically though, I got in, I learned a lot, I followed the rules for a little bit. I had great success for 1 or 2 months, I think. I turned $2,000 into $7,000 in about 2 months, which is of course like ridiculous. ROI is really high, but then I made all the mistakes that I know I shouldn't have made, and I lost everything in one trade. Basically I wiped out my entire account in a single trade because I didn't follow the rules that I had been following successfully for 2 months. yeah, it got to me, you know, the greed. They always say that stock market is ruled by fear and greed, and both of them got to me, and that's how I wiped out my entire account. Yeah, just in one trade, really stupid. So once again, great success followed by big failure and completely wiped myself out. So luckily, so at the time my mindset was like, well, this trading thing really worked well. I just made some mistakes and I can do it again, but I need some money again to start doing it. So I was like, okay, how can I make some money right now without any risk, so I can start trading again? And then the program that taught me how to trade had what was called an affiliate program. So you could promote that trading program to other people, and when they buy the trading program, you would get a commission. And that was actually my very first introduction to affiliate marketing. So I had no idea how to promote an affiliate program like that, how to what affiliate marketing even was, you know, what was involved in the concept of affiliate marketing. And so I started doing more research into that to see how could I make this work, how can I sell this affiliate program. And that's when I discovered that, like, in just a few days or weeks, my mind was blown open. Like, the entire world of internet marketing, affiliate marketing, everything was suddenly revealed to me. I went deep into YouTube, the Warrior Forum, which was kind of shit, but back then it was still really big. Some other forums and courses, and it was just months and months of, I'm sure that some of you are probably familiar with this, like the concept information overload, where you start digging into a subject and suddenly you're revealed with so much information, like piles and piles of information. And it took me months really to figure out like what was really involved in this, what I really had to do. So what made the breakthrough for me though were two things that were really, really important, and these are the two things that I really want to emphasize in this video. If you want to find any sort of success in starting an online business, doing affiliate marketing, digital products, whatever you're gonna do, Amazon products, maybe physical products, drop shipping, anything really, these two things made all the difference for me. The first led to the second, so it's actually only one thing really. Which is finding a mentor. I know that this has probably been said to you many times before. So I got a coaching program from a guy who's been a successful affiliate, who has done a lot of other online businesses successfully, and he was still like at this time his coaching program was still in the early stages, and that meant that luckily he devoted a lot of his own personal time and attention to his students, which caused me to really use this properly. I asked him a lot of questions, we interacted a lot, and I learned so much from him about business, about what makes you successful at it, and what sets you apart from other people as a successful businessman. And that's when I learned the second thing, which completely changed my life. First of all my mind, and then my life, which is personal development and everything that came with it. I discovered personal development, self-help books, and I know that some of those are complete bullshit, but I also read those that aren't, those that were really good, and I'll go into more detail later. So I discovered a lot about finances, a lot about business, and even health things that I never really read before. So I contribute a lot of my success from these 2 points, and they both reinforced each other. So the mentor and the personal development, because through discovering personal development I discovered a couple of books that I now see as foundational to anyone that wants to build a better life for themselves. So as to convince you that this is really, really impactful, before I left for Thailand, I'll go more into detail there later, I was talking with my brother back home in Holland, and he asked me like, what are you doing? How did you start all this? How did you do all this? What kind of business are you doing? How are you moving to Thailand? Basically, I told my family the story of me starting a business and wanting to move to Thailand, and they were like, what? That's crazy, you know, I mean, it's not a normal thing to do. And my brother was really intrigued and wanted to know more. And I told him, like, look, we can talk about this, but first, before we talk about this, I want you to read 5 books. And honestly, I didn't even expect him to do that. I didn't even know if he was gonna go and read those books. But those 5 books were crucial, I would say crucial to my own success. And if you're already familiar with the world of personal development and self-help, then you've probably heard of most of these books. You might even have progressed into a further step into this world and think that some of them are a little, you know, some of them are not necessarily as good as people claim them to be. But because they were the first for me, and they were also the first for my brother, these have been very impactful books. So my brother read these books despite my own suspicions, and that year was his first year in college. He has been pretty much, I would say, a failure at school for his entire life, but during that year in college, he completely changed his mindset about school, about what it meant for him, what his motivation behind it, and he became the best student in his class that year, simply because he adhered to the principles that he learned from these books. So I won't leave you in suspension any longer. I'll tell you the titles of the books. The first one was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is basically a foundational book on mindset and about how your thoughts can affect your life. The second one is basically a modern follow-up of it, which is Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within. The third one is how you can apply those principles to business, and what kind of mindset you need to adopt if you want to do business properly, which is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, followed by MJ DeMarco's Millionaire Fastlane. Those are both books on how to get wealth and business in the modern world. And I feel like you need those mindset books before you read those business books, because without the right mindset, you will not really buy the concepts in the business books as well as you should. So those are the books on mindset and business principles, how to adopt the entrepreneur investor mindset that you should adopt if you want to achieve success in business. Those are the second books. And then how you can use your thoughts and basically structure your life in a way that sets you up for success, with the 2 mindset books. And then the fifth one is a book that first introduced me to the lifestyle I lead now, which is The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. Now that book is hugely popular, but also very controversial, because it was written in a time when some of these concepts were definitely more out of there than they are now, and people are saying that it's not really as modern and relevant anymore. But I think most people still should read this book, simply for the fact that it has changed so much in the world of digital entrepreneurship, that anyone who wants to be a digital nomad or an entrepreneur in an online business should read this book, simply as a foundation to see where it all started, and how Tim Ferriss basically inspired a lot of people. So moving on in that subject of entrepreneurship and living abroad, because now I have an online business, I live in Thailand, I no longer have a job back home. So how did I get from getting mentorship and reading those books to this point? Basically, I followed everything my mentor taught me about affiliate marketing, and that's where I learned the business model that I showed you in last video. And from there on, I built a business that basically replaced my income from my job. Or at this point, it wasn't really replacing the income yet, because that wasn't my goal. It was increasing my income because of, like I said, how life was so much more expensive than I thought it would be, or at least than I expected. So yeah, I increased my income. That was really great. I could suddenly pay off my car loan and my credit card loans, and I was like, whoa, this is great. I suddenly have money I never had before. But then I also realized, like, there is more, that maybe I shouldn't stay in this job. I should go out there, travel, explore. So I went and looked more into other online business, online entrepreneurs, and also into travel, because travel is something I never did before in my life. I lived in the Netherlands all my life. I went on vacation pretty much to the same country, France, every single year with my parents, and after that I never really traveled much myself in my early 20s, unfortunately, but I'm here now, so I made up for it. But so I looked into travel and online business, and I discovered a lot of people are actually combining the two. This is a concept called Digital Nomad. So digital as in working online, and nomad as in traveling all the time and not living in a fixed spot, but just like working on the go. So digital nomads have a lot of information about themselves online. They have blogs, they have vlogs, videos on YouTube, whatever. And so I completely, once again, had like a mindset shift where, like, whoa, this is actually possible. I can do this. I already have an online business. I can just quit my job, move somewhere where it's cheap to live. I can reinvest my profits mostly into my business. Don't even have to rely on the profits to live a good lifestyle, because if I was to quit my job at the time in the Netherlands, I would rely 100% on getting all the profits out of my business and not have much to reinvest, because life in the Netherlands can get quite expensive, and you're also tempted much more by the consumerist culture of the West when you live there than you are when you go somewhere where people live on much less, like Thailand. So I discovered that Chiang Mai, Thailand, where I live now, is one of the most popular destinations for digital nomads, because people are able to live here for, well, it depends really. I'm gonna say most digital nomads are able to live here for less than $1,000 a month. Many local people are able to live here for $300 to $500 a month, even less in some cases. And even if you want to live a completely westernized lifestyle, you want to really splurge on Western food, you want to live in an apartment that is really luxurious, you can still do that for less than $2,000 a month, which is in many cases in Western countries less than your monthly rent. I know, like in the Netherlands it isn't as bad as in some countries, but I still paid about $800 US dollars a month on rent, which did not include very expensive utilities, internet bills and all that, insurance I had to get, local taxes I had to pay to get clean water and all that. There's a lot more that basically you have to pay on a monthly basis to just live, to just exist in the Netherlands, and that's not even including food. If I were to take a rough estimate, I would say that I would spend at least 1,800 euros, so that's almost 2,000 US dollars on my just monthly existence, just having an apartment, having food, a car, etc. Just all that 2,000 US dollars. Right now I live in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I am not someone who is who lives like very extremely cheap. I know a lot of digital nomads that come here, they don't really have much of a business yet. They want to live as cheaply as they possibly can, and some of them are able to do that by living on 400 to 600 US dollars a month. I don't do that. My expenses when I stay in Chiang Mai right now are approximately 1,000 US dollars a month, sometimes a little less than that, but it is still less than half of what I spend on my existence in Holland, whereas my lifestyle here is much better, much easier. I work less hours because I don't have to commute. I can work from home, or I can work from a local coffee shop nearby just to enjoy the environment. Everything I do is online. I don't have commute. So yeah, it's like my life is so much better. I don't even have to cook food. Like, the food here is excellent and super cheap. So I can go to a local Thai restaurant, get a meal for $2 to $3, depends on what I eat. I tend to eat not so much rice because I try to follow a low carb diet. Like, not really. I'm not like super into dieting, but I just don't want to overload myself with carbs because I know that they can have a lot of negative effects on me. I get these sugar cravings I don't really want. So I tend to cut down on the rice, which makes my meals a little more expensive than most people eat here for like 40 to 50 baht a meal, because you get like half of it is rice. So I usually eat 2 of those meals, which gets me closer to 100 baht a meal, which is still less than $3 US a meal. And that's for local Thai food. If you want to eat Western food, it's going to be about twice as expensive, sometimes even 3 times. But that's still less than $10 a meal for a meal out in a restaurant, which is super cheap in my opinion, at least, because in the Netherlands even a basic meal in a restaurant is probably going to cost you 15 to 20 euros, which is yeah, a little more than that, like 10% more in dollars. So yeah, life here is excellent. So through all of this, like, I just want to summarize this video, because I realized, like, right now I've been talking for over 20 minutes. Just looking at the timer on my camera, it's running over 20 minutes now. So I'm just going to give you a quick summary. So two really big changes made all this possible for me. First of all, I found a mentor that taught me his business model. I followed it to the dot, and then secondly, he introduced me to the world of personal development and mindset, and gave me all these books to read. I never was much of a reader before, but those changed my mindset so much about the world, about business, economy, finance, even health, and just like anything really. This is a quote from the Think and Grow Rich, I believe. Anything your mind can conceive, you can achieve. So that is basically what mindset is all about, or personal development is. As long as it's not physically impossible, I mean, you can't jump up and reach the moon no matter how many times you think about it, but as long as something is physically possible in the world today, and as long as you want it badly enough and can conceive of a plan in your mind of how to get from where you are to where you want to be, you can do it. There is nothing stopping you from it. Everything you can come up with that's stopping you right now is just an excuse. And that made such a huge impact on me and my life. So yes, get a mentor, invest in your time and energy and money in personal development. And then after that, I came to the realization, I can just pack up my stuff, leave the Netherlands, go to Thailand. For the last 12 months, I have been here, but I've also been traveling around the region. Luckily, my business allows me to sometimes take a break for a couple weeks or a couple months to go and travel. I've traveled through Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia. These are all neighboring countries to Thailand. I've been to the south of Thailand, which has beautiful islands in the middle of the ocean. I've done scuba diving, hiking, just like driving a motorbike through Vietnam for 2 months. It's been an amazingly adventurous life, full of experiences that I've never had before. Like I said, I wasn't much of a traveler before, but all of this has been possible because of the mentor, the personal development, and the online business I created as a result of that. So that's my story. I hope it inspires you to take action, to change things in your own life, no matter where you are now, no matter where you want to go next. It doesn't have to be traveling the world or living in Thailand. It can be something completely different, but just take these lessons, find yourself a mentor, someone that is where you want to be, and then invest in personal development.